Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Genesis 22 to 28, Proverbs 20, and Psalm 95. Let's get started. After these things, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. He said, Take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains on which I shall tell you. So Abraham rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and his son Isaac. And he cut the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place which God had told him. On the third day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place from afar. And Abraham said to his young men, Stay here with the donkey. I and the boy will go over there and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Isaac his son, and he took in his hand the fire and the knife. So they went both of them together. And Isaac said to his father Abraham, My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. He said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for a burnt offering? Abraham said, God will provide for himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son. So they went both of them together, and they came to the place of which God had told him. Abraham built the altar there and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar on top of the wood. And Abraham reached out his hand and took the knife to slaughter his son. And the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. He said, Do not lay your hand on the boy or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, seeing that you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him was a ram, caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering instead of his son. So Abraham called the name of the place, The Lord Will Provide. And as it is said to this day, On the mount of the Lord it shall be provided. And the angel of the Lord called to Abraham a second time from heaven and said, By myself I have sworn, declares the Lord, surely because you have done this, and have not withheld your son, your only son, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven and as the sand that is on the seashore. And your offspring shall possess the gate of his enemies, and your offspring shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because you have obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham lived at Beersheba. Now after these things it was told to Abraham, Behold, Milcah also has borne children to your brother Nahor. As his firstborn, Buz his brother, Chemal, father of Aaron, Chesed, Hazer, Pildash, Jidlaph, and Bethuel. Need Adi, Milcah bore to Nahor, Abraham's brother. Moreover, his concubine, whose name was Miriam, bore Tebah, Gahan, Tahash, and Maacah. Sarah lived 127 years. These were in the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died at Kiriath Arba in the land of Canaan. And Abraham went in to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. And Abraham rose up from before his dead and said to the Hittites, I am a sojourner and a foreigner among you. Give me property among you for a burying place, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. The Hittites answered Abraham, Hear us, my Lord, you are a prince of God among us. Now he are dead in the choice of our tombs. None of us will withhold from you his tomb to hinder you from burying your dead. Abraham rose and bowed to the Hittites, the people of the land, and he said to them, If you are willing that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat for me Ephron the son of Zohar, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he owns. It is at the end of his field. For full price let him give it to me in your presence as property for a burying place. Now Ephron was sitting among the Hittites, and Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the hearing of the Hittites, of all who went in at the gate of this city. Nay, my Lord, hear me. I give you the field, and I give you the cave that's in it. In the sight of the sons of my people, I give it to you. Now you are dead. And Abraham bowed down before the people of the land. And he said to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, But if you will hear me, I give the price of the field, accept it from me, that I may bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, My Lord, listen to me. A piece of land worth 400 shekels of silver. Now I set between you and me. Bury your dead. Abraham listened to Ephron, and Abraham weighed out for Ephron the silver that he had named in the hearing of the Hittites, 400 shekels of silver, according to the weights current among the merchants. So the field of Ephron in Machpelah, which is to the east of Mamre, and a field with the cave that was in it, and all the trees that were in the field, throughout its whole area, and it was made over to Abraham as a possession in the presence of the Hittites, and for all who went in at the gate of the city, his city. After this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah, east of Mamre, in the land of Cave. The field and the cave that's in it were made over to Abraham as property for a burying place by the Hittites. Now Abraham was old, well advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his servant, the older of his household, who charged all that he had, put your hand under my thigh, that I may make you swear by the Lord, the God of heaven and God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I dwell. I will go to my country and to my kindred, and will take a wife for my son Isaac. His servant said to him, perhaps the woman may not be willing to follow me over this land. Must I then take your son back to the land from which you came? Abraham said to him, C.Jun, that you did not take my son back there. The Lord, the God of heaven, who took me from my own father's house and from the land of my kindred, who spoke to me and swore to me, to your offspring I'll give this land, and you will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife of my son from there. Now if the woman is not willing to follow you, then you'll be free from this oath of mine. Only you must not take my son back there. So the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. Then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, taking all sorts of choice gifts from his master. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia to the city of Nahor. And he made the camels kneel down outside the city by the well of water at the time of evening, at the time when women go out to draw water. He said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, please grant me success today and show steadfast love to my master Abraham. Yonder I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. And let the young woman, to whom I shall say, please let down your jar that I may drink, and who say, drink, and I will water your camels. Let it be the one whom you have appointed for your servant Isaac. By this I shall know that you have shown steadfast love to my master. Before he had finished speaking, behold, Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with her water jar on her shoulder. The young woman was very attractive in appearance, a maiden whom no man had known. She went down to the spring and filled her jar and came up. And the servant ran to me and said, please give me a little water to drink from your jar. He said, drink, my lord. And she quickly let down her jar upon her hand and gave him a drink. And she finished giving him a drink. He said, I'll draw water for your camels until they have finished drinking. So she quickly emptied her jar into the trough and ran again to the well to draw water. And she drew water with camels. The man gazed before her at her eyes to learn whether the Lord prospered his journey on her. When the camels had finished drinking, the man took a gold ring weighing a half shekel and 2 bracelets for her arms, weighing 10 gold shekels, and said, please tell me whose daughter you are. Is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night? She said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, and whom she brought to Nahor. He said, we have plenty of both straw and fodder and room to spend the night. The man bowed his head and worshipped the Lord, and said, blessed be the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his steadfast love and his law, and his faithfulness toward my master. As for me, the Lord has led me in the way to the house of my master's kinsman. And the young woman ran and told her mother's household about these things. Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban. Laban ran out toward the man to the spring. As soon as he saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's arms, and heard the words of Rebekah's sister, thus the man spoke to me, and he went to the man, and behold, he was standing by the camels at the spring. He said, come in, O blessed of the Lord. Why do you stand outside? I have prepared the house and a place for the camels. So the man came into the house and unharnessed the camels, and gave straw and fodder to the camels, and there was water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. And food was set before him to eat. And he said, I'll not eat until I have said what I have to say. And he said, speak on. So he said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has greatly blessed my master. He has become great. He has given him flocks and herds, silver and gold, male servants and female servants, camels and donkeys. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master when she was old. And to him he has given all that he has. My master made me swear, saying, you shall not make a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I dwell, but you shall go to my father's house and to my clan, and take a wife for my son. I said to my master, perhaps the Lord will not follow me. And he said to me, the Lord before whom I have walked will send his angel with you and prosper your way. You shall take a wife for my son from my clan and from my father's house, and you will be free from my oath. Then you come to my clan, and if they will not give her to you, you will be free from my oath. I came today to the spring and said, O Lord, the God of my master Abraham, if now you are prospering the way that I go, behold, I am standing by the spring of water. Let the virgin who comes out to draw water to whom I shall say, please give me a little water from your jar to drink, and he will say to me, drink, and I'll draw for your camels also, and let her be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master's son. Before I had finished speaking in my house, Rebekah came with her water jar on her shoulder, and she went down to the spring and drew water. I said to her, please let me drink. She quickly let down a jar from her shoulder and said, "Drink, and I'll give your camels drink also." So I drank, and she gave the camels drink also. Then I asked her, "Whose daughter are you?" And she said, "The daughter of Bethuel, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bore to." So I put the ring on her nose and bracelets on her arms. And Abraham had led me the right way to take the daughter of my master's kinsman, Rosa. Now then, if you're going to show steadfast love and faithfulness to my master, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may turn to my hand to the left. And Laban and Bethuel, and said, "I think that has come from the Lord. We cannot speak to you bad or good. And behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go, and let her be the wife of your master's son. As the Lord has spoken." Then Abraham's servant heard their words. He bowed himself to the earth as he before the Lord, and 7 brought out jewelry of silver and of gold and of garments, and gave them to Rebekah. And he also gave to their brother and their mother costly ornaments. And he and the men who were with him ate and drank, and they spent the night there. When they arose in the morning, he said, "Send me away to my master." And her brother and her mother said, "Let the young woman remain with us with her at least 10 days. After that she may go." But he said to them, "Do not delay me, since the Lord has prospered my way. Send me away that I may go to my master." He said, "Let's call the young woman and ask her." And they called Rebekah and said to her, "Will you go with this man?" She said, "I will go." And they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, "Our sister, may you become thousands of 10,000s, and may your offspring possess the gate of those who hate him." And Rebekah and the young woman arose and rode on the camels and followed the man. And thus the servant took Rebekah and went his way. Now Isaac returned from Beer-lahai-roi and was dwelling in the Negev. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field toward evening. And he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, there were camels coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw him, she dismounted from the camel, and said to the servant, "Who is that man walking in the field to meet us?" The servant said, "It is my master." So she took a veil and covered herself, and the servant told Isaac all the things he had done. And Isaac brought her into the tent of Sarah his mother, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Abraham took another wife, whose name was Keturah. She bore him Zimram, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan fathered Sheba and Dedan. The sons of Dedan were Asherim, Letashim, Leummim. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Hannah, Abida, and Eldah. And all these were the children of Keturah. Abraham gave all he had to Isaac. But to the sons of his concubines, Abraham gave gifts. And while he was still living, he sent them away from his son Isaac, eastward to the east country. These are the days of Abraham's life, 175 years. Abraham breathed his last and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people. Isaac and Ishmael, his sons, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar the Hittite, east of Mamre, the field that Abraham purchased for the Hittites. There Abraham was buried with Sarah his wife. After the death of Abraham, God blessed Isaac his son, and Isaac served at Beer-lahai-roi. These are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whose Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah said, brought to Abraham. These are the names of the sons of Ishmael, named in the order of their birth. Nebaioth, the firstborn of Ishmael, and Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Heda, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedar. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, by their villages and by their encampments. And 12 princes according to their tribes. They set out from Havilah to Shur, which is opposite Egypt in the direction of Assyria. He sailed over against all his kinsmen. These are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham fathered Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel the Aramean, of Paddan-aram, the sister of Laban the Aramean, to be his wife. And Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord granted his prayer, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together with her, and she said, "If it is thus, why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said to her, "2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you shall be divided. And one shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. And their days to give birth were completed. Behold, they were twins in her womb. The first came out red, all his body like a hairy quail, so they called his name Esau. Afterward his brother came out with his hand holding Esau's heel, and so his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them, and the boys grew up. Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field, while Jacob was a quiet man, dwelling in tents. Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Once when Jacob was cooking stew, Esau came in from the field and was exhausted, and Esau said to Jacob, "Let me eat some of that red stew, for I am exhausted." Jacob said to me, "Sell me your birthright now." Esau said, "I am about to die. Of what use is a birthright to me?" Jacob said, "Swear to me now." So he swore to him and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank and rose and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Now there was a famine in the land, besides the former famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Gerar to Abimelech, king of the Philistines. And the Lord appeared to him and said, "If you don't go down to Egypt, dwell in the land of which I shall tell you. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and will bless you. And for to you and to your offspring I will give all these lands. And I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father. And I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and I will give to your offspring all these lands. In your offspring all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac settled in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him about his wife. He said, "She's my sister," for he feared to say "my wife," thinking that lest the men of the place should kill him because of Rebekah, because she was attractive in appearance. When he had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out of the window and saw Isaac laughing with Rebekah his wife. So Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Yo, she's your wife. How then could you say she is my sister?" "She is my sister." Isaac said to him, "Because I thought lest I die because of her." Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us? Not that you will let you easily have lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." So Abimelech warned all the people, saying, "Whoever touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." And Isaac sowed in that land and reaped in the same year 100-fold. The Lord blessed him, and the man became rich and gained more and more until he became very wealthy. Now he had possessions of flocks and herds and many servants, so that the Philistines didn't beat him. And Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you are much mightier than we." So Isaac departed from there and camped in the valley of Gerar and settled there. And Isaac dug again the wells of water that had been dug in the days of Abraham his father, which the Philistines had stopped after the death of Abraham, and he gave them the names that his father had given them. And when Isaac's servants dug in the valley and found there a well of spring water, the herdsmen of Gerar quarreled with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." So he called them the name of the well Esek, because they contaminated him. And they dug another well, and they quarreled over that. So he called its name Sinner, and so he called its name Rehoboth. And he moved from there, and he dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehoboth, saying, "For now the Lord has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land." And then he went up to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared to him the same night, and said, "I am the God of Abraham your father. Fear not, for I am with you, and will bless you and multiply your offspring for my servant Abraham's sake." So he built an altar there and called upon the name of the Lord. And Bishop stood there, and there Isaac's servants dug a well. And Abimelech went to him from Gerar with Ahazath his advisor, and Phicol the commander of his army. And Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, seeing that you hate me and have sent me away from me?" And he said, "We see plainly that the Lord has been with you." So we said, "Let there be a sworn pact between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you, that you will do us no harm, just as we have not touched you and have done to you nothing but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed of the Lord." So he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. In the morning they rose early and exchanged oaths, and Isaac sent them on their way. In the morning they rose early and exchanged oaths, and Isaac sent them on their way, and they departed from him in peace. And that same day Isaac's servants came and told him about the well they had dug, and said to him, "We found water." And he called it Sheba. And therefore the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. And when Esau was 40 years old, he took Judith the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, who be his wife, and Basemath the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah. When Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau his older son, and said to him, "And my son," and he answered, "Here I am." He said, "Behold, I am old, I do not know the day of my death. And now then take your weapons, now your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and prepare for me delicious food, such as I love, and bring it to me, so that I may eat, and that my soul may bless you before I die." Now Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. So when Esau went to the field to hunt for game and bring it, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "I heard your father speak to your brother Esau, bring a game and prepare for me delicious food, that I may eat it and bless you before the Lord before I die. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice as I command you. Go to your father and bring me 2 young 2 good young goats, so that I may prepare for them delicious food for your father, such as he loves. And you shall bring it from to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies. But Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him, and bring a curse upon myself, and not a blessing. His mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice, and go, bring them to me. So he went and took them, and brought them to his mother. And his mother prepared his delicious food, just as his father loved. And Rebekah took the best garments of Esau, her eldest son, which her in with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And the skins of the young goats she put on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. And she put the delicious food in the bread, which she prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. So he went into his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau your first son. I have done as you told me. Now sit down and eat of my gain, and that your son may bless me. And Isaac said to his son, How is it that you have found it so quickly? Then Isaac, he answered, Because the Lord your God granted me success. And Isaac said to Jacob, Please come near, that I may feel that my son should know whether you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob went near to Isaac his father. He found him and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. So he did not recognize it, because his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. And so he blessed him. He said, Are you really my son Esau? He answered, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, that I may eat of my son's game and bless you. So he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said to him, Come near and kiss me, my son. So he came near and kissed him. And Isaac smelled the smell of his garment and blessed him. And said, See, the smell of my smell is the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. And may you lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. And as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, and Esau his brother came in from his hunting. He also prepared delicious food and brought it to his father. And he said to his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's game, that you may bless me. His father Isaac said to him, Who are you? He answered, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very violently and said, Who is it then that hunted game and brought it to me? And I ate it all before you came. And I blessed him, yes, and he shall be blessed. And as soon as Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Your brother came deceitfully, and he has taken away your blessing. Esau said, Is he not rightly named Jacob? He's cheated me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, now he's taken away my blessing. And he said, Have you not reserved a blessing for me? Isaac answered and said to Esau, Behold, I have made him lord over you, and all his brothers that I have given to for servants, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son? Esau said to his father, Have you but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me, as my own father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Then Isaac, his father, answered and said to him, Away from the fatness of the earth shall you dwell, and away from the dew of heaven on high. And by a sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. And when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck. Now Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. And Esau said to himself, The days of mourning for my father are approaching, then I will kill my brother Jacob. But the words of Esau, her older son, were told to Rebekah. So she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, Your brother Esau comforts herself about you by planning to kill you. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice. Arise, flee to Laban my brother in Haran, and stay with him a while, until your brother's fury turns away, and until your brother's anger turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. Then I will send and bring you from you. Why should I be bereft to beat you both in one day? And then Rebekah said to Isaac, I lose my life because of the Hittite woman. And Jacob marries one of the Hittite women like these, one of the women of the land. What good will my life be to me? And then Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and directed him, You must not take a wife from the Canaanite woman. Arise, go to Paddan Aram of the house of Bethuel, your mother's father. Take as your wife from there one of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. God Almighty bless you, and make you fruitful and multiply you, that you may become a company of peoples. And he give the blessing of Abraham to you and to your offspring with you, that you may take possession of the land of the sojourners that God gave to Abraham. And thus Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Paddan Aram to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. Now Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Paddan Aram. Take a wife from there. And I saw him, and that as he blessed him, he directed him, You must not take a wife from the Canaanite woman. And that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother, and gone to Padan. So when Esau saw that the Canaanite women did not please Isaac his father, Esau went to Ishmael and took as his wife, besides the wives he had, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, his sister in the bed. Jacob left Ishmael and went toward Haran. And he came to a certain place and stayed there that night. Because the sun had set, taking one of the stones of the place, he put it under it and went down, lay down in that place to sleep. Then he dreamed, and behold, there was a ladder set up on the earth. And at the top of it he reached heaven, and behold, the angels of the Lord were ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you lie shall be like the dust of the earth. You shall spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. You shall spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the south. And in you and in your offspring shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Behold, I am with you, and will keep you until I have done what I have promised you. And Jacob arose away from the slave and said, surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know. And he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. So early in the morning, Jacob took the stone that he had put under his head and set it up for a pillar and poured oil on the top of it. And he called the name of that place Bethel. The name of the city was Luz at the first. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, if God will be with me and will keep me in the way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and clothing to wear, so that I come again to my father's house in peace. And the Lord shall be my God, and this stone which I set up for a pillar shall be God's house. And of all that you give me, I'll give a full tenth to you. Proverbs 20. One is a mock, strong drink of oil, and whoever is led astray by it is not wise. The terror of a king is like a growling of a lion. Whoever provokes him to anger for offensive life is an honor for a man to keep aloof from strife. And every fool will be quarreling, and the sluggard does not learn the order. He will seek at harvest and have nothing. The purpose of a man's heart is like a deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. And yet man proclaims his own step as love, but a faithful man he can find. The righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him. The king sits on the throne of judgment. When I saw evil with his eyes, he can say, I have made my heart pure, and flee from my sin. And equal weights and unequal measures, both like an abomination to the Lord. He neutral makes himself known by his acts. My word that his conduct is pure and upright. The hearing and the seeing right, the Lord has made them both. Love not a slave unless you come to pardon. Open your eyes and you will find your pride. Bad, says the Bible, when he goes away, then he goes. There's God in abundance of costly stones, but the lips of knowledge are a precious jewel. Take a man's skull when he has put up security for a stranger. Hold him pledge when he puts up security for foreigners. Where came by deceit is sweet to a man. Afterwards his mouth will be full of gravel. Plans are established by counsel, by wise guidance wage war. Whoever goes about slander and reveals secrets. Therefore do not associate with a simple babbler. If one curses his father or his mother, his lamp will be put out in utter darkness. An inheritance gained hastily in the beginning will not be blessed in the end. Do not say, I will repay evil. Wait for the Lord, he will deliver you. And an equal weight are an abomination to the Lord, and false scales are not good. Man seeks from the Lord, and how then can men understand his way? It is not to say rashly, it is holy, and to reflect only after making vows. And a wise king winners the wicked, and drives the wheel over them. The spirit of a man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all the innermost parts. Steadfast love and faithfulness preserve the king, and by his steadfast love his stones upheld. The glory of young men is their strength. The splendor of old men is their grey hair. Both their women cleansed by evil, but gracious men clean the innermost parts. Psalm 116. I love the Lord because he has heard my voice and pleased with my pleas for mercy, because he has inclined his ear to me. Therefore I will call on him as long as I live. The snares of death encompass me, but the pangs shall lay hold on me. I suffered distress and anguish, then I called on the name of the Lord, O Lord. I pray, deliver my soul. Gracious is the Lord and righteous. Our God is merciful. The Lord preserves the simple. When I was brought low, he saved me. Return, O my soul, to your rest. The Lord has dealt bountifully with you, for you have delivered my soul from death. My eyes from tears, my feet from stumbling. I will walk before the Lord in the land of the living. I believe even when I swear I am greatly afflicted. I sit in my alarm. All mankind are lies. What shall I render to the Lord for all his benefits to me? I will lift up the cup of salvation and call on the name of the Lord. I'll pay my vows to the Lord in the presence of all his people. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saint. O Lord, I am your servant. I am your servant, the son of your maidservant. You have loosed my bonds. I will offer to you the sacrifice of thanksgiving, and call on the name of the Lord. I will pay my vows to the people in the presence of all the people, and to close the house of the Lord in your midst of Jerusalem. Praise the Lord. Now I stand nation unto the Lord's prayer. Please pray at the Father in heaven. Hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.